Good morning, everyone. I thought I'd take a minute this morning just to give you a little update on the new lease forms that we've been using. As you're aware, as of April 30th, 2018, the Ontario government introduced a new standard lease form that all residential tenancies will have to sign going forward. So I know that there's been some information online, and we've had a seminar where Gerald Brunt was kind enough to go over the form with us, and it was great. It was very informative. We also posted some time ago a memo from John Zanatti's office. He's a lawyer in Toronto, and he published a paper calling it "Use It or Lose It: The Ontario New Standard Lease." It was very detailed, had some good clauses in it, but I would like to clarify sort of what we feel is the best practice going forward in using these forms. So when you have a tenant or a landlord and you're negotiating a lease, I would continue to use the Form 400 that is on web forms and on TREB. They have changed it to address the new requirement, and so if you read clause 12 and 13 of the agreement to lease, it does outline the fact that this new form has to be signed and will become the lease, rather than what we used to do, and that the agreement to lease would be the lease. So that's where I would start. Use the Form 400, negotiate all the items, and set it out. And then once everything's agreed to, then I would transpose everything onto the new standard lease. So the standard lease form can be found at, if you Google Ontario Government Repository Forms, you will find it there. And there is now a fillable one that if you have Acrobat Reader 10 or newer, you can use that to fill in the form. So that really makes it easy. So take a look at that. Become familiar with the form because you're going to have to use it for sure. It does set out things in real detail so that everybody's clear exactly what their rights are. There are some explanatory sections as well. Some of the things that we've done in the past, we can't be doing anymore. Like, you can't say no pets, you can't say no kids. You can, if they are renting a condominium, they have to comply with the condo rules and regs, of course. And then the other thing, and we've done this for a long time, is that you can't demand post-dated checks, but you can have, if the tenant agrees to them, then you should put a clause in that he's voluntarily provided post-dated checks, and then we can go from there. So the other thing that is important is to have a look at the deposit. You can ask for a key deposit, can't be any more than $20, and you can also ask for first and last month's rent, but it can't be a damage deposit. So read those sections carefully so you understand them and you're not asking the tenant to do something that they legally aren't obliged to do. So take a look at the forms, make yourself familiar with them. We do a lot of leases these days, so I think it's timely to make sure that you're aware of it and the best way to use the forms. So please feel free to call me or any of your managers if you have any further questions regarding this. And of course, you have to still do your confirmation of representation and cooperation, which will set out your actual commission, but the agreement to lease takes into account who the cooperating brokerage is, the commission trust account, that type of thing, which if you just use the standard lease, you won't have that information on there. So have a look at it. It all makes sense once you start really going through it, and give me a call if you have any questions. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Thanks. Bye.